have recently taken to social media sites in the fight against xenophobia. Hashtags like hashtag say no to xenophobia and hashtag xenophobia must fall has been used to call for calm and to end the ongoing violence. To give us the latest, we are joined by ROI Africa's Managing Director, Tonya Khoury. Tonya, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Newsroom. Let's start by talking about just everybody on social media in one way or another using a hashtag, talking about their emotions, how strongly they feel about what's going on in the country at the moment.
It's huge. I mean, from a media monitor's perspective, it is astonishing how the whole chart just gets taken over by the xenophobic sentiment. And also, for the first time for social media, for me, hashtags actually make a difference because we have a voice now and a vehicle. So we've been having a look at news and social media across South Africa firstly. So this is local, Sam. So on the left of your screen, you'll see that xenophobia is the black section of the pie at the bottom, and it's taken over the chart by an excess of 40%. This is news reporting. So this is what you are feeding us as consumers at home. So that's against other big stories like the DA's, Helen Zille's resignation, Eskom, City Power's load shedding initiative, statues completely falling off the charts now that we have something really, really big to worry about. And then when we swap that statistic back to here at home, where you and I are talking on social networks, it is incredible to see that in excess of 60% of our conversation in the past 7 days is about the xenophobic essay. It's crazy.
Well, let's talk about stats around that very quickly. What is the number we're talking about in terms of anti-xenophobic tweets? People rising up again and saying, look, we have a responsibility. How many of those tweets are we seeing or interactions?
It's like shooting a moving target. Like if I give you an answer now, the next second it'll change. But what I can tell you is that it's crept across almost 100 countries across the globe. Wow. South Africa is very much in the spotlight in both news and social networks. If we look a little bit lower down on the screen, on the left-hand side, those are statistics from international news across the world. And we've got big stories internationally, the US presidential election, all that sort of thing. Xenophobia accounting for over 1 in every 10 articles reported internationally across 100 countries. And that talks about us here at home.
But we saw President Zuma asking the National Assembly that social media users not incite violence on social media platforms. What have we seen in reaction to that statement?
I've seen very much a peaceful sentiment or a strong no from the South African people and from Africans across the continent and also across the world. People expressing dismay, shock. Very little is actually pushing the xenophobic attacks itself. But there are some. I think social media is predominantly dominated by negative sentiment, but that's because we're angry and we're fighting against it.
Do we have some kind of sense in terms of the amount of pictures that's been sharing? I've seen some horrific pictures, and I think I've gone as far as blocking some people who've been sending me pictures on social media.
I think one of the scary things is how social media is never vetted. So you often see these old stories resurface, or stories that aren't even related to our country or to this issue, surface on social media as part of the xenophobic attacks. One particular story was that one back from 2008, those horrific images that were seen of a man on fire, that came through again as part of this wave of xenophobic attacks. So the problem with social media can't be vetted, can't be stopped. So it is what it is.
Tonya Khoury, thank you very much for joining us here. She's from ROI. She's the Africa Managing Director, sharing some insights in social media and kind of the trends that people are falling into or the patterns as well. Okay.